Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves.
Hey, all you Minties! Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for my summer haul of 2025. Yes, I know it's September, but these are the books that came in during the summer. So let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. Before going any further, don't forget to smash that like button, please. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. Small thing you can do, but it does mean the world to us. And then, of course, some shout outs to my buddy Goose Pooey channel for sending me some books here, and also my buddy Kyle. So we have a Kyle pile as well, some of these magnetic press books I didn't even know existed. And of course, a big thank you to all of you that have been asking me where is my haul, and I figured I'd do it now through season, so this will be the summer haul. I know it's September, but it's the summer books that came in. Some of these I've read before. Some of these are brand new and I haven't had the time to read them because I've been busy reading other books to make overviews of. But if there's a particular book through this lot, by all means, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see a closer, in-depth overview. All right, let's go ahead and start with one of these piles. Nightwing, Fallen Grayson. This is volume 7, collecting issues 114 to 118 of Tom Taylor's run. And of course, we know eventually there's going to be an omnibus, but I could not wait to read it. So, Bruno Redondo and Tom Taylor in this amazing run that I think it's great. It's up there with, like, for me at least, the Chuck Dixon era of Nightwing. Still like the Chuck Dixon era because that was part of my childhood, but this is solid. Nightwing, unfortunately, is one of those characters that hasn't had a consistent, great writing team for the book. And I know people love, like, Kyle Higgins or Tim Seeley or even Tom King's run on Grayson and the New 52 era. But man, for me, it was very hit and miss. Back here we have some extras. And I love this throwback cover right there to the first issue of Nightwing. And that's Fallen Grayson, to be followed by the Nightwing. On with the show. We're looking at the all-in DC. And again, it's got the new banner on it, or the new spine. And this is the Dan Watters era of Nightwing. And I just opened it up yesterday. And then I had to go back to reading instead of reading for fun. I may do a video on this one. This is Dexter Soy doing the artwork. And of course, it is him taking over the book. And this is collecting issues 119 and 124. I thought they would renumber it, but no. So Nightwing it might go longer than the original series of Nightwing. And it's got some stellar artwork in here too. And Dan Watters writing these particular stories. This is the hardcover version. Both of these do have a softcover version as well. Let's go through a stack of DC Finest. We've got DC Finest Metamorpho, the Element Man. And this is collecting The Brave and the Bold 57 through 58, 66, 68, 101, Metamorpho 1 through 17, and Justice League number 42. These books continue to amaze me just how much the price is compared to the page count. These right here are just placeholders for ads. So in case you're not familiar with it, you're not missing a panel, you're not missing anything important, it's just during this time of comic books, not just DC Comics, they were putting ads sometimes after, sometimes in the middle of a story. So that's what that is. So that's what they are using, the DC logo. Marvel does the same thing with the Marvel logo during their time. And again, these are done by years, 1964 to 1972. Doesn't mean that's a lot of comics, it just means, oh, that's all that was coming out then. And then we have Superboy, the super dog from Krypton, collecting Adventure Comics 199 to 216 and Superboy 33 to 43. So we've got Crypto and we've got some classic stories. If you want more in-depth overviews of this, the channel does those every week. Dom of X has been killing it. He's doing the overviews of the DC Finest. If I feel like I need to do something special, like that's near and dear to me, like I probably should have for the Batgirl that I'm about to show here in a little bit. But I thought, you know what? He is having fun. He's reading a lot of these stories for the first time. Actually, I haven't read I don't think most of the stuff in here. So yeah, that's another thing too. It's like I have to have time set aside to reading a lot of these. If it's one book a week, I could probably do it. But there's so many books coming out weekly. It's insane to keep up with. DC Finest Catwoman. This is the 1994 era to 1996. So we start off with the Night's End, Aftermath, Jim Ballant. A lot of the stuff in here has never been collected because they only went so far with the Catwoman trade paperbacks. So yeah, a lot of this stuff, this Jim Ballant era, has never been collected. I'm so glad that it is coming out now in a complete collection, including the stuff that predates this with the miniseries of Catwoman. And is this Fry? Is that who does this? No, Barry Kitson does this? Pat Grahey doing the colors. I think Barry Kitson was probably experimenting during this time with his artwork. And that's the Ratcatcher story. And the Batman team up. And then the Underworld story through here. So this is collecting Catwoman 0, 13 through 32, Annual 2, Shadows of the Bat 43 and 44, and a story from Showcase 95, number 4. Poison Ivy, continuing my collection of Poison Ivy with this volume right here, which is volume 5 of this ongoing series by G. Willow Wilson. Still an amazing series, and one that I keep reading as soon as it comes in, and I'm hoping one day there will be an omnibus of this. Basically because I love the artwork through here. I know this is not an overview, it's just showing you my haul, but I do like to flip a little bit through here. And then sometimes I flip maybe too much because, hey, I don't want to spoil anything for myself for books I haven't read, but also for you all too. This is the cover sketches by Jessica Fong here. And wow, lots of covers. And look at the biographies. Look at all the different people working on these books. This is the hardcover version, and this is another one that has a trade paperback edition. Batgirl, Stephanie Brown, Volume 2. I think some of you that have watched my library tours have seen my custom Omni of these. So why am I getting this? Because this is the legit copy coming from DC. And of course, I want to support it because I want to show that there are a lot of us that love Cassie as Batgirl. Now, not Cassie, I'm sorry, Stephanie Brown. Cassie is my Batgirl. I love that character, which I'm about to talk about in a little bit. But yes, this era by Brian Miller is so good. And I'm sure one day we'll get some kind of omnibus collection of this. This, by the way, is crazy. This is the 3rd time this has been collected. This is a more complete collection, by the way, in case you missed out on it the first time. Those went out of print. So they had thinner trades. Those went out of print. Those were not complete. They didn't have the crossover issues. Then they had these. They went out of print. And now they've reprinted them. So if you want to get them, there's only 2 volumes of this era of Batgirl. Batman the Knight, which we know is going to be collected in the omnibus. They added it in there, and we made an update on our channel. This one is special because my wife was like, hey, let's get this signed. Chip's going to be here. So it's signed to Melanie, not Omar. Love, Chip. That guy. So yes, the stories in here are going to be collected. Carmine DiGiamenico is the artist. Are going to be collected in the Batman by Chip Zdarsky Omnibus Volume 1. That makes me happy that, they're listening to us. You viewers that suggested it. I let them know, and sure enough, DC's like, let's do it. So they've been added. So freaking cool to have everything in there by Chip Zdarsky. And it's crazy. It's going to be 2 volumes of the stuff. That is just nuts. The Witching Hour. I got the new printing because the Witching Hour by Vertigo trade paperback is one that for some reason I can't find. This is, of course, by the phenomenal Jeff Loeb and Chris Bachalo. I think Art Thieber does the inks throughout the whole thing. This was a Vertigo series, and one that I really enjoyed and not a lot of people talk about. I cannot believe this has never been collected in a deluxe edition. I think there was a standard size trade paperback of this, and that's it. And I know there's enough for more stories through here. This picture right here reminds me of what Chris Bachalo did with the Rachel Gray, the End of Gray storyline with the Phoenix. And then in the back you get some sketches for the character designs there. And other DC Essential graphic novels. Yes, in case you missed out on it the first time around, this is a really fun one-and-done story. And there's an introduction by none other than Gene Simmons. Big shout out to my buddy Bishwachi Roy, who I met at Heroes Con, and he gifted me this. This is an Indian comic. It's Zalim Manha versus Incognito, and of course that is a take on the Muhammad Ali versus Superman. And this over here will tell you the breakdown as to who is who, including some of these wonderful creators that some of you all will know, and then some of these folks I don't know. And again, this is a comic book that is written in English too, and it's an Indian comic book and was published over there, and he gifted me this. I think it's his friends that worked on this. So it's really cool because I know in the past people have tried to send me Indian comics just to show the talent from overseas. Unfortunately, like, a lot of them are not translated into English, or just the shipping is so expensive. So I was very blessed that he met up with me. So a big thank you to him for gifting me this. I did not expect it to be this pretty cool, like an homage to this classic fight. And then you get original artwork right here from script to inks in the back. It is a hardcover with a dust jacket. So underneath the dust jacket is just Planet Rock. And then it is glued binding. And that is a battle. It's BS Comics. Too big for the world will be witnessed by the universe. Planet Rock. I went ahead and picked up Transformers Combiner Chaos. This is volume 3 from the fine folks at Skybound and Image Comics, continuing Daniel Warren Johnson's run with Jorge Corona on artwork. Now, we know they are actually being replaced by Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora. That's going to be crazy. But this is a continuation, and man, it's just so fun. And I can't wait for volume 2 of the deluxe edition. Am I thinking they'll probably do like a slipcase edition like they did with Invincible or Walking Dead? Absolutely, one day, but I ain't waiting that long to read them. And besides, my wife's getting the single issues, so I'm like, I'll get the trade paperbacks. I really enjoy the series. It's Transformers after all. Through some of the Kyle pile, the other bad guys. This is from Rocket Ship. And some of these are going to be Kickstarters, by the way. Written by Luke Lancaster and Orlando Caicedo is the artist through here. So let's look at some of this artwork. I think Rocket Ship, this is the one that was a Kickstarter, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Kyle, man, guy since 2019 has sent me and put me on to so many books. I know, you know, we talk like almost every day. And it's crazy that he still thanks me for doing videos and like putting him onto so many books, but he has no idea just how much he has influenenced my hidden gems, or even my haul videos that people are like, oh my gosh, what is that? Where did you get that? Yeah, seriously, it's amazing the things that he still ships my way that I'm not even sure about because I can't keep up with what's going on Kickstarter. Like By the Horns, he sent me the trade paperback volumes a few years back. And that's the dedication. Let's see if the credits are over here. And it is signed. So the story and directions by Martin San Naso. The art's by Jason Moore. So I remember he sent me the trade paperbacks, and they come with, of course, stickers. And usually if it's a Kickstarter, he'll send me a copy if he's getting a copy and he really enjoys it, or he just really appreciates their work and wants to crowdfund it, which I think is so cool. This one does come with a nice bookmark ribbon right here. And of course I show Death of Little Magical Creatures. But let's skip a little bit through here. And we have some different covers. And this is a hardcover with sewn binding. And no dust jacket. This is by The Horns. Volume 1, The Wind Rises. I picked up We Called Them Giants by Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. Clayton Cowles doing the lettering. And oh my gosh, the artwork in here by Hans is absolutely mind-blowing. How did this not get a deluxe edition? It's the same team that did, what was it, Die? I'm surprised we didn't get, and we're going to follow up to Die. I'm surprised that they didn't go straight deluxe with this. It is a standard size trade paperback. And I almost passed up on it, but yes, believe it or not, when I put my video together of the upcoming collected editions for the month of, that all started because I was keeping an inventory of what's coming out. And I looked at the list and I'm like, oh, they're making a reprint of Call Them Giants? And no, it's We Call Them Giants, not I Killed Giants. And I was like, oh, that's right, that's a different book. So good thing I make those videos for people like myself. Anyway, this came out during the summer, I want to say. Published by Image Comics. A little bit of the sketches, and then also by the same artist. I forgot he did Wicked and Divine. And wait, no, Jamie McKelvey did. Oh, they're doing the Kieran Gillen. But I remember Stephanie did the Die book. And then the bio on the creators back here. Yeah, so, man, her art is gorgeous. I'm surprised, yeah, they went this route and not oversize. Birds of Prey, Volume 2, Bird Undercover. Again, Kelly Thompson. This time around, it's not Leonardo Romero, because he went on, he went on to do animation, like that Spider-Man series. But Sami Basri and Juan Cabal, who I've really enjoyed. And Basri has a similar style to Romero, but not quite there. It's actually a little more detailed, which is kind of crazy to think about. And yes, this team is still Big Barda and I almost said Cassie Wonder Girl, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, Big Barda. Man, she is so fun and fits perfectly in here. I know that Gail used her in her run, but to me, I think she just works perfect now. And of course, Black Canary, Oracle, and a couple of other surprises I didn't see coming. And that is Volume 2. This is the All-In era, I think, even though they're not calling it that. Man, did I enjoy this book. Man, did I enjoy this series. And now it is all in one trade paperback collection. I was hoping that we would get Marcus Toe's artwork in a deluxe edition, but at least they're making it more accessible for people. This is Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, like the first time I ever read anything that they did with Marcus Toe, and it is Joyride, the complete collection. I had this in a series of trade paperbacks. I want to say I made it in... I think I made this video into a Hidden Gems. If I didn't, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will do a thorough, or a little bit more of a deep dive into it so you can find out what it is. But the big selling point for me was Marcus Toe, which is why I picked this up. This is before Excalibur or anything, but it is now Jackson and Lansing that kind of brings me back to these stories in here. New characters, all done in like one and done, and that's it. Published by Boom, and it is $19.99. The Milestone Compendiums, Volume 4. I've done an overview of the first 3, and maybe I'll do an overview of 4 and 5 when 5 comes out, because 5, I believe, is the final one, if I'm not mistaken. This is a compendium. It is a soft cover, and it is $59.99, and it is now Zombie, it's Static, and Icon, but it's a different era during Icon this time. And again, some of the key writers are still writing these particular stories that started the run and finally collected. This stuff has never been collected, and it is so freaking cool that DC did not forget about these characters and how important they are to people. Hardware's in here still, but we have some newcomers. So this collects the Blood Syndicate 28-32, Hardware 29 through 38, Icon 28 through 37, Cobalt 15 through 16, Static 26 through 31, Shadow Cabinet 14 through 17, Zombie 12 through 21. My Name is Holocaust. I've never read that, 1 through 5, and I've never read The Long Hot Summer 1 through 3. $59.99. That is a big book for just $60. Back to the DC Finest. We are looking at one of the smaller ones. I remember people like freaking out about this one. I was like, yeah, but it's $39.99. It's the same price all the other ones are. Dan Garrett era of the Blue Beetle. Again, stuff that has never been published. I don't think there was an archive edition of this stuff that DC did. It is crazy that we're getting this kind of stuff now in a DC Finest version. And yes, we got some Ted Kord in here, of course. So this is one of the most rare or obscure ones that goes from 64 to 81 because, you know, these characters really didn't have that long of a series. And then eventually, of course, Blue Beetle will be merged into the DC universe in the pages of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Oh, and there's even an appearance by The Question here during the Charlton years. But that's the next DC Finest. And by now, my Most Wanted Batman Omnis, I think, should be out, if I'm placing this timeline right. And this is Harley Quinn. So, 1993 to 2001. The most important thing to note here is that they are collecting the animated series, which is not canon, really. That's her first appearance. That's her first comic appearance. And then Mad Love. And, oh my gosh, if you haven't read Mad Love, this adaptation is so good. Absolutely so good. Written, of course, by the creator and Bruce Timm. Dude, oh my gosh, Bruce Timm's artwork. And then eventually we do get her one-shot right here. So this is her first actual comic book in continuity appearance. the Batman Harley Quinn one-shot, which then again, later she shows up in No Man's Land, which they do collect through here. So this is very thorough. This is actually the way, when I think about like the mapping that I would have done, I would have actually left out those issues that are, of course, animated series continuity and just focused, oh my gosh, that story right there, on these issues here that take us through comic book Harley Quinn, not animated series Harley Quinn. It's a good thing I'm not mapping because nothing is left behind. They do such an amazing job with these DC Finest. Love this. Love this one. Plastic Man, the origin of Plastic Man, Jack Cole, that cover right there, man, that cover screams like Frank Miller to me, Eduardo Risso, Fabio Moon, like those guys right there that have like the contrast, black and white, even Mignola a little bit, especially when he's inked by Al Williamson. But these Police comics is so interesting because we still have like PS art books releasing the classic Police comics, and then DC doing this, and there's restoration on these pictures here. I don't know if the PS art books are actually going to do restoration on these stories, or if they have. This is stuff I've never read, and I'm so excited to actually go on a trip. I may take this one with me. By the time you watch this, I'll know if I took it with me or not, because for the first time, I'll be reading this. You know what I'm noticing through here? There's not a lot of narration. There's a lot of dialogue, but there's no, like, caption boxes explaining things. That's really odd. Oh, there we go. There's a little bit. But even from the beginning, I didn't see that many. You know, people complain about that era. Not everybody, but people complain about Golden and Silver Age, how they over-explain things. And, I mean, we were still new to comics, right? We were still trying to make something of it. Peacemaker, Kill for Peace, 1966 to 1993. That's crazy that Peacemaker hasn't had a lot of, like, his own name. I think he only had one miniseries. If you love the Peacemaker series, if you like that type of humor, if you're enjoying the character, this is completely different. I'm not even going to lie. If you think that you're going to get the Peacemaker, the funny guy, the John Cena character, no, not at all. This is more of a serious take. This is actual Peacemaker in the comic book. I think if you're looking for something, is the Peacemaker Tries Hard. That's what you're looking for. Paul Cooperberg. Oh, Vigilante. Yes. So we have some Vigilante stuff in here. Todd Smith's artwork. And there he goes. You know, I've never read, like, the original Peacemaker books right here. This stuff right here, introducing the Peacemaker. Because he was one of the Charlton characters, and in Watchmen, I think he became the... No, I know he did. He became the comedian. The comedian was actually supposed to be Peacemaker. Well, this is cool. So yes, this is another one of those books that Peacemaker didn't have his own ongoing series. He didn't really appear a lot, but it goes from 1966 to 1993. I do love the fact that they highlight the years. I still don't like the fact, because it's confusing, that they have 1938 here, because somebody new to this collection might be like, oh my gosh, Peacemaker appeared back in 1938. No, that's the beginning of the Checkmate. Oh my gosh. I love this book of the DC universe with Action Comics #1. Still a little confusing. So we have a book here from One Shot. This is all black and white, post-apocalyptic book with different creators on it. So this is a breakdown of what the creators are. I really like this. Wow, there's a lot of stories in here. This picture right here by Ming Su Thickpen, which does the story of Bloom. So in here you're going to have an array of just different creators. And I realize we got to go through a lot more books, so I need to start hurrying up. It's not an overview. It is a showing, not even showing and telling, but just showing. Man, it's that manga style. That's why I like it, of course. And let's see what else we got. This all came from my buddy News Pooey channel. Courage to Dream right here. This is, let's see, Graphics published this. I think it's part of Scholastics, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man. It's like about a concentration camp. Courage to Dream, Tales of Hope in the Holocaust. Yeah, sure enough. Yeah, it is part of an imprint of Scholastic. That's right. So looks like a deep read. And this is one I've been wanting to read. This is What Is Home, Mom? And this is by Saba Khan from Street Noise. It's a breath of fresh air. Okay. I love graphic novels like this. Oh, look at that. Yeah, when graphic novels just are done a different way, it's not just straight sequential art, if you will. It just becomes a, like, you're so absorbed by the artwork and the story that I love that about graphic novels. It's the only, it's like a different genre of like movies, right? Like you have silent movies and stuff, and I just said I need to hurry up through here, but this looks way too freaking cool. And I love the minimal use of colors too. It gets people to be creative. This is the French Flaps, and that is Sabacan. World Finest! This is the Mark Waid and Dan Mora era, Volume 6. And God, I can't believe Dan Mora is doing so many comics. Now he's doing Transformers. It's just crazy to me. But I've been loving this series. Will we get an omnibus of this? Probably, yeah. It's almost a safe bet. And will I get it and upgrade? Yes, absolutely. I love Dan Mora's artwork. It needs to be in a big oversized format. And I really enjoy these stories by Mark Waid. This is Ever After, the Pandora Protocol by Dave Justice and Leela Sturgis. Travis Moore. Oh, Travis Moore doing the first few issues with Steve Rolston, Andy Parks. I do like Travis Moore's artwork. But this was sent to me by, I think Kyle sent this one to me. Actually, I know he did. And, let's see. In here, it looks like different creators, of course. Sorry, I just talked about the different artists. Maybe it had a dust jacket. I don't know if this was a Kickstarter. I'm pretty sure it was. Tula Lotte's aren't right there. It does come with a bookmark ribbon on the spine. Is there anything? There's nothing on the spine. Wonder if it had a dust jacket at one point. And the After Realm right here. It's another one of the Kyle Pyle books. The Slipcase edition by Michael Avon Oeming. May be familiar to you, who of course worked on Powers, worked on Thor. Currently working with James Tynion on the Blue Book, which is freaking so good. But he's been a creator for many years, and this is his creator own. I want to say he's working on it by himself. Taki Soma and Sean Lee are helping him, but he's writing it and drawing it by himself, and it looks to be a fantasy type of story in here with elves and big monsters. Mice Templar, I forgot that was the other. Oh man, Mice Templar. How did that series not finish in Deluxe Edition? I'll never know. The Art of Battlefield. He knows I love art books, and he sent me this right here. I think this was a book that came with actually the video game. And it's a little hardcover that comes with a slipcase and some additional art right here. This is Van Helsing, Ashes of the Past. And usually the Kickstarters come with like all these little extra goodies. And man, Kyle always packs them. Let's see. This is the annual. I want to make sure I give credit. Oh, this is, oh my gosh. There's lots of creators on this book. And is there a publisher? Oh, Xenoscope. Okay. Oh, wow, that cover's beautiful. So it's Xenoscope. I guess they're going the Kickstarter route now. So lots of ladies. Badass lady action. Kind of reminds me of like the 90s craze of just the big gun ladies. But this is Van Helsing, Ashes of the Past. Back to the DC Finest, we have Superman, Kryptonite Nevermore. This is Collecting Action Comics 393 to 406, and Superman 233 to 238, and 240 to 246. Again, the retail price for every one of these is $39.99. You got the covers intact, no letter pages, and I think for the most part, when it comes to DC Finest, they don't really add a lot of extras. I want to say almost like any extras are added. Let's keep going. So we got a lot of these. This is how I catch up with DC Finest. And I try to read one. I try to, if it's Silver Age or Golden Age, sometimes I have to take breaks in between. Oh my gosh, the art in here. Love it. Sometimes I have to take breaks in between and go to like a modern book. But that's okay. Some of these stories I'm reading for the first time. A lot of these, actually, I am for the first. This is the team-up book. There's the Phantom Stranger. Some of them, of course, have been collected before in omnibus format and in other trade paperbacks and hardcovers over the years. Swamp Thing and Solomon Grundy. But this is the reason why I love stories like this. This is Jim Apparo's art through here. And to me, He's my definitive Batman artist. I love this guy's art. Bob Haney writing a lot of the stories in here. Sergeant Rock. So you're going to see a lot of appearances. This is, I assume, years 78 and 79. It's crazy how we had so many comics back then. And now, although we do have World's Finest, right? That has been going on for a long time. But this is the team-ups right here. Batman the Killing Joke. And other stories. I can't believe we're getting Batman and Detective Comics together in one continuing story. Like, to me, this is amazing. Like, this collection right here is things I was dreaming of, including stories that I always thought were canon and people would argue. Not just people on the internet, long before that, like Son of the Demon is a canon. Or even The Killing Joke. Remember, there was a time when The Killing Joke, even by DC, was not considered canon. But because of the popularity of the book, they were like, yeah, okay, it's canon. Absolutely love the stories. This was my childhood of Batman. These are the kind of stories that I grew up with. Norm Brayfogle, Alan Grant, Jim Starlin, Jim Aparo, Mike W. Barr. Eventually it was Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan and Dennis O'Neil, of course, coming back to the character. It's just some great stories in here and collected in an amazing reading order. They are killing it with these Finest. And, oh my gosh, and the events. Now, you're going to see, like, wait a second, Omar, you already have that in an omnibus format. Why did you get that? Good question. Why did I? Probably to end up giving away eventually with our big giveaway that we're doing in November. So some of the books you're seeing through here, I think I may have just put my order in through Cheap Graphic Novels and told them, just send all the DC Finest to me. Even though Dom's doing the overview, so they already have the Omnis. This is the things I'm talking about. This is the stuff that gets confusing. Like, this is 1994 because it only took place in 1994. You couldn't go back to 1938. You couldn't go to 2011 for 0 Hour. So, I think those kind of things I wish they had thought about. I understand that looks cool. I kind of dig it, but also, like, it could be confusing for new people. Man, do I love these stories in here, though. I know DC's 0 Hour event gets a lot of hate, but I dug it as a kid. I'm like, oh, they fixed the universes with Crisis on Infinite Earths. Crisis on Infinite Time, or Crisis in Time, is going to fix everything else about time travel, which we need to in the DC universe. Loved it. One of my most anticipated releases of the year, Batman Red Skies. These are the stories from 1985 to 1986 that are taking place right before Crisis on Infinite Earths, during Crisis on Infinite Earths. Not only is it mapped with Detective Comics and Batman, so you have Batman 388 to 400, annual number 10, Detective Comics 554 to 567, and Secret Origins 6, but it's just mapped so beautifully. This stuff has never been collected. Outside of maybe like 1 or 2 issues in here in different collections, that's it. This stuff has never been collected. It is insane that we're finally getting it. It's not an omnibus for people that are like, oh, I wish it was an omnibus too. But I'm just happy we're getting it. We are finally getting this stuff collected. And we are very blessed. I've said it time and time. I've been saying it for 7 years now, maybe longer. We are living in the golden age of collected editions. It's amazing the things that we're getting. Complete, no issues left behind. You know, outside of the licenses and things like that. It's just crazy to me. If you were to tell, like, 12-year-old Omar, one day you're going to have this big book, so you don't have to go worry about those back issues, I would have been like, who the hell are you, time traveler? Get the hell out of my room. Okay, no, really, I would have been like, what? That's awesome. All right, let's break it up a little bit with the Superman Adventures Compendium 1. Dom of X has done an overview of this, and a lot of people were surprised with 2 things. Number 1, the cover, which I kind of dig. The people are like, oh, that's more like a Batman animated series cover. But I dig it. And the other thing is that this wasn't an omnibus, that they went straight to Compendium. But I don't know if it was as popular as Batman, so I can kind of understand. So there is that. But I don't know. And again, that artwork, man, I love those cartoons. I was rewatching a lot of the Batman animated series with my daughters. And there's some classic stuff in there. We didn't get the Superman. We need to finish Batman Animated, get the Superman, and then get the Justice League. And then Justice League Unlimited. So yes, these are the stories that, of course, are based around the cartoon, which was great, with great freaking voice actors. Let me make sure. Kelly Puckett is writing a lot. Scott McCloud. And Rick Burchett, Neil Vokes, and Joe Staten are some of the pencilers in here. It is a soft cover, again. Another thickie but a goodie is JLA Book 2. This is a more of a complete collection, no issues left behind, of the Justice League. Surprised they didn't go with DC Finest. Surprised they didn't do compendiums. And this is, of course, the era of Grant Morrison, but they're also including stuff that was not included in the Omnibus, so it's legit no issue left behind when it comes to these collections. A interesting era for the Justice League, but a great era. I think, like, for example, this is the Mark Miller issues right here. Let's see, guest writer, oh, Mark Waid, so sorry, Mark Waid. And this wasn't in the Omnibus, but I think it did eventually collect it in a deluxe edition. The Young Justice stories in here. So they're continuing these. Again, not called compendiums, not called DC Finest. They're just called books. 1 and 2 are out. Swamp Thing by Rick Veitch, Volume 2, Synchronicity. And the big thing is, will we get the... this is 74 to 79, by the way. As well as Annual 4 and Constantine, Hellblazer 6 through 12. Will we get the unpublished issue in the next book? That is the big mystery, and I don't know. I don't know if we will or not. So we will have to wait and see. Maybe they'll make a big deal about it, or maybe they'll save it for like an omnibus collection, which would be a most welcomed omnibus collection, honestly. When it comes to Swamp Thing, they've done an amazing job so far collecting this in oversized format. There's John right there. And, oh man, to have these stories, yeah, in an omnibus, all one place, and I'll double dip the crap out of his Hellblazer. Yeah, let's do it. But that is Swamp Thing, Book 2, Synchronicity. And we have a 3 coming out. Magnetic Press did this Kickstarter right here for Monte Cristo. It's got a die cut. I love Magnetic Press books. By now, my overview of Magnetic Press books should be out. So let's give credit where credit is due. Jordan Mechner is the writer. Mario Alberti is the artist. Claudia Palescandolo is the colorist on this. I love the fact that they do these round edges on the books and the hardcovers. And each one of them, like, really does feel different. This is a different type of book than, for example, I'll show you No Future here in a second. And one that I cannot wait to read. I love reading these books too. A lot of them, of course, are translated from different European countries, sometimes France. Who owns a lot of the licenses for the books that Magnetic Press has been working on, and welcome here in America too. Because I mean, definitely Humanoid can use some company. That's for sure. That's the back of the book, and then No Future right here, another die cut book. It's beautiful, printed in this thick matte paper stock, while Monte Cristo was in the thick glossy paper stock. This is illustrated by Jeff and designed by Jeff. So dialogue by Corbet Ron and Jeff. Oh my gosh, look at that. And again, this is my buddy Kyle that sent me these. Oh, that artwork, the colors. Yeah, it's stuff like this that makes me excited to read comics. Because, you know, you look at superhero comics, and as excited as I am for a lot of the books that I'm getting to read, especially some of those for the first time, stuff like this is stuff that I wouldn't be reading if it wasn't for companies like Magnetic Press or Humanoids, things that people have, you know, been loving overseas, but for the first time available here in America. Even the back has a die-cut cover. $34.99 for the retail price of this one. This is the Book of Wizards, and it's from Gateway. And again, it's another book from my buddy Kyle. So this is a Kickstarter. He loves these Kickstarters, and they have different tiers, of course. And I love art books, so maybe this is an art book. Let's see, a Wizard Manifesto. A lot of these I'm opening up for the first time. These are the kind of books I would get, and I wish I was into Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. I was like, oh man, I wish I was into tabletop role-playing games. We just called everything Dungeons and Dragons back then, by the way. We didn't have a different title for something that was not Dungeons and Dragons. And the bookmark, I like the bookmark color too. So it looks like it's a breakdown of these characters right here. And I love the art books like this. I have like the Dragons art book, the Devil, like it's the art of the Devil through the ages. And as a big fan of just art, not just in comic books, I enjoy books like this. They're a nice escape and a nice break sometimes from just reading the normal comic book. Not that there's anything normal about some of these comics, that's for sure. But that is the Book of Wizards, Gateway. Oh yeah, back to the finest, baby, with Batgirl. There's my girl, Cassandra Cain, my favorite Batgirl. Interesting enough, this starts with Batgirl 7 through 27, Superboy 85, Supergirl 63. I don't know if Batgirl is just going to be one line, if it's going to be Barbara Gordon, and then Cassandra Cain, and then Stephanie Brown, and then Batgirl's like, I'm not sure how they're going to collect it. Although the DC Finest ends in 2011, so it's before the Flashpoint. But oh man, if you've never read this stuff, it's okay to jump in with issue number 7. I wish they had done volume 1 first, that introduces us to Cassie, because by issue number 7, there has come a change to the character. And because when you read the first one, you're like, how is this comic going to work? How are they going to keep writing these stories? And by now, the character has changed a little bit, for the better. It makes it easier to write. But in here, you're going to have some of that Trevor Scott artwork. My gosh, it's so good. And Kelly Puckett, I really like this era of Trevor Scott's art. I think later on, he changed it up a little bit, like especially when he did the Raven miniseries. That was definitely for me, at least, it was way too cartoony. But for me, this is perfect. I love this stuff. And one day, number 1 most wanted Omnibus. You all voted for Batgirl, Cassandra Cain. I'm not the only Cassie fan. I love that. DC Finest Suicide Squad. Another book that I'll probably end up giving away because you already have the Omnibus. And I was like, give me all the all the DC Finest. This is the one that stands out because of this. The logo on these books have this blue. This is the one that stands out because of this type of blue that they're using. If you have the Omnibus, the stuff is already collected in the Omnibus format. This is mapped identical. It has the legends, it's got the secret origins, and then, of course, the Suicide Squad. One of my favorite releases this year, Dom of X, again, has done an overview of each and every one of these DC Epics. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and go and check out the DC Epic playlist, because he is nailing it. He's reading a lot of the stories. I think this is the first time he's read this. This is like my 4th time, because I love these books. So let's go ahead and talk about Wonder Woman here. Speaking of books I have not read, this is the 1983 to 1986 era. Now, I did have some of these issues. Let's see what it collects. This is collecting the first woman to be... The Legend of Wonder Woman 1 through 4. And issues 306 to 329. I had issue 300. For some reason, I would get anniversary issues. I don't know why. So if it had like a gimmicky like anniversary label on it, I was like, yeah, I'll get that. That looks good. The Invisible Jet. And Dan Miskin and Don Heck. A big pencil, both at Marvel and DC Comics. So yeah, this stuff right here, I've not read. Actually, Dom of X has read it, and I haven't. Sumalata Themyscira and, the Atomic Knights. That's cool. I remember those guys. Mainly from Justice League International. So this is before Crisis on Infinite Earths. Speaking of Crisis, here we go with the Crisis tie-ins. That's really cool that we have before and during Crisis on Infinite Earths. Wait, no, wait. I did read some of this because of the stupid banner. It has nothing to do with Crisis at all. Just the stupid red skies. And hence why I love that title, The Red Skies, on the Batman book. And continues into Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then this is the Legend of Wonder Woman. This is the stuff by Kurt Busiek and Trina Robbins on artwork here. It's got that classic style. And Superman Family, the Giant Turtle Man. It's none other than Jimmy Olsen. So this is Collecting Action Comics 266, 277, 278. Adventure Comics 287, Superman 142 and 143, 147, Superboy 87, 90, 92, Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane 19 through 28, and Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen 47 through 56. I love that we don't have a lot of these that have the actual like word bubble on there. That's cool. Now this is the kind of comics I was thinking about when thinking about the Golden Age and Silver Age. You know, you have the caption boxes and then you have the dialogue, the thought bubbles. It's a lot of reading. And for this one here, I want to say, what years are these? This is 1960 to 1961. I don't think I made it this far. I don't think I got to the Silver Age to read these stories. So all of this is new. Will I keep the book or give it away? I don't know. For DC, you know, for me at least, it started with Crisis on Infinite Earths. And these stories just were hard to get into for me. And I think that's why I got rid of all my Omnis or Golden Age and Silver Age DC, with a few exceptions like Fourth World and Kirby stuff, and like Phantom Stranger and Spectre and Deadman. But there's definitely a love for this era, and I love the fact that DC has not slowed down and forgotten about those fans. That's what makes this DC Finest line so awesome. Here we have another hardcover in Kyle Pyle. This is Sleepless. Beautiful, beautiful gold foil. Sarah Vaughn, Leila Del Duca. And again, it was another Kickstarter with stickers, a postcard, and a bookmark. Alyssa Sala is the editor in colors, and End World Designs are doing the lettering. And this is, oh my gosh, that cover is gorgeous. The art in here is gorgeous. It's a, yeah, it's faux leather and printed in glossy paper stock. And again, one of these Kickstarters that Kyle makes me aware of, and then people ask me where I got it. I'm like, oh, let me ask Kyle, then I have to get back to them. And just gorgeous fantasy type of story. Be a little bit of like Romeo and Juliet in here, because it is called Sleepless, or I guess Sleeping Beauty would make more sense. I don't know why I went with Romeo and Juliet. Maybe because I always think of love stories like that. So I ended up with these volumes right here, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck collections here. This is part of the Disney Masters collections right here. And you get these particular books. Unfortunately, I think because space is limited, yes, even for me, I know people are like, oh my gosh, you've got so much room in your library. I think this is where my journey ends. Unfortunately, I wish I had more room, but these books just take up a lot of space, and they're beautiful and wonderful, and I haven't had a chance to even read the previous ones. I'm loving them, and Fantagraphics is killing it right now when it comes to Disney books. They're releasing everything, going back to the classic era, going back to this era, the stuff that has never been released in America outside of a few collections, both for Donald and for Mickey Mouse, or I guess Duck books in general. I just think it's great. It's a great time. I may just still collect like the Duck books, and maybe I'm going to turn into Don Rosa and just say, well, I'm getting just the Duck comics. I don't care about the Mickey comics, but there's some good Mickey comics, especially when you have like the crossovers. You have some of these original by the way, after a certain time overseas, Uncle Scrooge does start wearing his DuckTales, which would really make Don Rosa mad. But yes, that's what these are. This is a collection of both Disney's Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse comics. For the first time, a lot of these stories translated into English, and they're still continuing them with like, I don't know if there's an ending that they have planned. Is that a gold foil? No, it's just an emboss, glossy finish. But yes, that is, I think, where I draw the line as to like that might be the last ones I get are these. I say that, and then my next haul is going to be like, oh, whoops, Omar, you said you were going to stop. I know, bit of an idiot. Another one of these Kyle books, Beneath an Alien Sky. And this is Sid Kotian's slipcase right here from Rocket Ship. And the slipcase has a die cut. That's really freaking cool. It's a big book too. Okay, let's look at this. It says a hardcover, no dust jacket. There's your end sheets. Beneath an Alien Sky, Sid Kotian. And printed in this thick glossy paper stock. And this artwork with aliens, man, it's doing it for me. It's gorgeous. I wonder if there's, oh, look at that. Silver foil edging. And then over here, see, I don't see a lot of extras, but this is definitely up my alley. This art is gorgeous. And I remember this cover, so I think it was a regular edition, and then this is the slipcase edition. And the slipcase is freaking sturdy. It's got like, almost like, it feels like almost like cloth, but it slides right in there. Speaking of slipcases, we got a couple more slipcases. Bone, the Deluxe Edition, Part 1, The Valley. So this is Jeff Smith going back to his character of Bone. This is the regular edition, by the way. There was a Kickstarter version. The Kickstarter version is in hardcover. The regular edition is in softcover. I do believe that it's got the same slipcase, though. Could be a little bit different. But this is Bone Deluxe, where he's reprinting them in the original black and white. With an introduction there by Maggie Thompson, Jeff Smith, and there we go, where we meet the characters of Bone. Surprised they didn't go with matte paper. They're going with the glossy paper stock. And, a little bit of bleed through happening. So the paper stock they're using doesn't feel thin, but you can see some of the word bubbles, some of the pictures from the other side. Yeah, okay. So, anyway, that's the first volume. If you've never read Bone, oh my gosh, now's the time to do it. Or just get the all-in-one in color or in black and white. Aquaman by Jeff Johns Omnibus. And if you're thinking, wait, I've seen your book tour, I've seen your haul before for years, and I know you've got this years ago. I did. And then I lent it to a friend, which I rarely lend my Omnis. And guess what they lost in their move? Not saying any names, not calling anyone out. I would never do that. But it happens. This is why I don't lend anybody my Omnis. Not anymore. But yes, this is Jeff Johns' run, Yvonne Hayes. And this is one that I bought from my buddy Aaron. Aaron was selling his books. And I was like, hey, I need that back. So we talked, and yeah, he ended up selling it to me. Because for some reason, yeah, I never got it back, and then I kind of forgot about it. This happened like a few years ago, before I even moved. Yeah, I haven't had it for years. But this is the classic stories. I'm hoping one day we'll get a follow-up to this. The DC Collected Editions department, somebody really loves this New 52 era. So I would love a follow-up to this era, including Aquaman and the Others, which is kind of set up through this run right here. If you watch the first Aquaman movie, a lot of that was inspired by this particular run right here. And if you've never read it, this is one of the easiest way to get into Aquaman. Is it my favorite run? No, that is still Peter David's run. But it's a great run nonetheless. And that is Aquaman by Jeff Johns Omnibus. Last but certainly not least is my copy of Red Son. There's my, oh no, my little sheet. I know that my buddy Domovex has already done an overview, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want to see that overview. I just wanted to open it up and finally put it on my shelf. The new DC logo up there. And if you're not familiar with this, is by Mark Miller and Dave Johnson, of course. Killian Plunkett doing some of the art. Yep, right here. Andrew Robinson and Walden Wong doing the inks. Paul Mounts, legendary color. And then Ken Lopez doing the lettering. What if Superman had landed in the Soviet Union instead of the good old USA? That's it. That's what this is. Do other characters like Wonder Woman and Batman appear through here? Oh, yes, of course they do. It was a short series. It's been collected in trade paperback and hardcover in the Lux edition, and now available in an omnibus, or I'm sorry, in a absolute format. Lots of extras, it seems, like the script right here. And then character designs and sketchbook by Dave Johnson, who is known for doing a lot more covers than internal artwork, but he is a stellar sequential storyteller. So there's some stuff in here that are pencils, some of it is inks. And, you know, to a lot of people, this is regarded as Mark Miller's best work. In the back, it looks like they have some of the animated stuff, yeah, because it was made into a movie. But that's it. That's my haul, and it always comes with a poster. And, of course, a bookmark ribbon. And sheets, and printed in glossy paper stock. And there's the bookmark. Of course, that red. That's it. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing some of these books, don't forget to check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And that was my haul for the summer of 2025. I guess the next one will be fall, because yes, that comes after summer of 2025. So thank you all so much for reminding me that I needed to do a haul video. You are watching this while I am overseas, so if you have any questions, I'm sorry I can't get to them, but I will see them eventually. Thank you all so much for watching. Smash that like button on the way out. Everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.